don't do it. Please don't do it. Please. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Yes, I'm getting used to it. Small with the grow. And yes, this is my real face, so this is my face without makeup. This is the me I'm even more comfortable with. Okay, so only thing I have extra on my face is this Palmer's cocoa butter lip balm. I have it with me almost every time. Just for selling, moisturize my lips. So guys, welcome. Today straight away we're talking about 10 things not to do when you are planning your wedding. Yes, I'm working on my hands. A lot of complaint about I clap a lot, so I'm working on it. Okay guys, please, so pity me if I clap a few times today. Yeah, 10 things not to do when you are planning your wedding. Yeah, my husband got married. It's been 8 months and 3 weeks, something like that. Yes, I have to precise. Every day in marriage counts. So it's been 8 months and 3 weeks, and during our wedding we did traditional, we did the civil, we did church, though the church wasn't really planned. Anyways, we have our wedding videos somewhere below, and also I'll drop Karawa Media's link. Yeah, you could go to the YouTube and watch the full video. Yeah, so we got married a few months ago. Damn, I look fine. Sorry. It was a moment of appreciation. Pico, when sorry me. Yeah, we got married a few months ago, and I want to share these tips which helped me. Some of them I didn't even know them, and I actually failed on that part. So I don't want people that are coming after me, especially because you have me on the YouTube channel, to make these mistakes. So yeah, I wrote them down. I took my time to write them down. So I'll just, begin. First, starting without a budget. Starting without a budget. Do not start without a budget. Even if it's not a wedding, you don't start a project without making a budget, because sometimes you end up spending more, you see. So you cannot start planning your wedding without doing a budget. You and your wife, you and your husband need to sit down and see, okay, babe, how much do we have at hand? What we have, do for us? What kind of wedding can we, budgeting and putting into consideration the income that you expect to have. When I say income that I expect to have, not income from people, because you don't, I'll get to that. Income that maybe from your salary, what you, from your business you expect to have. So you have to start with a budget, how much you're going to spend, how much you have, how much this is going to cost, how much you have for it. Start with a budget. That's like a financial plan of how the wedding is going to look like. So the second point is entrusting special activities in people's hands. Yes, you trust a lot of people. You trust your sister, you trust your best friends, you trust a lot of people, but there's certain things concerning your wedding that you shouldn't let people do for you. You can give something like packaging of souvenirs to your sisters, your neighbors, to join hands and do, but you cannot entrust something like maybe civil wedding registration in somebody else's hands. You need to follow that up yourself, because if something goes wrong, you will know, you and your spouse to be will know what exactly you need to fill in, you need to understand. But there's certain activities that you don't just trust in people's hands, because if they're slow, you don't know, it could cause the biggest harm ever. But if you handle it yourself, you're sure that you are fully accountable. So this way nobody else is to blame on your wedding day that this one or this one did not happen. So yes, that's point number 2. Point number 3, do not get stuff on credit. Yes, do not get stuff on credit. Pay cash and don't do credit. Last thing you want to happen is the day your wedding night, you're trying to catch some sleep after tiredness, after you done soccer, after everything, and someone is calling your phone. Oh, you have to give us a balance you promised to give when we're done. Or maybe you cannot show face after 2 days of your wedding, because the next person you see is going to ask you, our catering services You did not complete the 1 million you were supposed to pay. Last thing you want in your life is people chasing your tail because of money you owe them from your wedding. After your wedding, what you deserve is rest. Think of how beautiful it was. Spend time with your man, spend time with your wife. You don't want that kind of noise, that kind of negative energy to start in your marital home. No. So best thing you can do is do not do credit. Pay cash if you have, or you give yourself a time limit. That's the importance of having a budget. When you have a budget for your wedding, at least 4 months before your wedding, it's going to help you to know that, okay, in the next 3 months we can complete this one. Don't do credit. Save yourself from embarrassment. Don't embarrass yourself and your home and your newly wedded name. Okay, word to a wise. Period. Okay, point number 4, do not minimize the tiniest costs. This one, I'm saying it out of experience. That means the tiniest costs almost killed us. I and my husband. Well, sometimes tiniest cost is like what? Cost of transportation, airtime refill, your internet costs or the data you use, tips, don't minimize it. On your budget, on your plan, make sure you put it on your plan. That transportation from here to here to give this invitation is going to cost me this. I need airtime for at most this per month, to send out messages, to reach out to family members you've not spoken to for a while. I need this much internet because, online I'm trying to discuss with the planners, with the catering, with the cake lady. Don't minimize this cost, because at the end of the day, especially transport, before you realize it, you'll spend like 100,000 on transport, and you're asking yourself like, where did this money go to? It was transport. Yes, it was transport. So right now, if you're planning your wedding and you're watching this video, go to, I don't know if you have an Excel sheet, add transport costs for you and your husband, also for those who are planning. Next point, do not go for wedding planning services you can't afford. Good. I want my wedding to be this. I want that princess wedding. I want that wedding we saw on Bella Naija. I want that wedding we saw on Camel 237 weddings. Oh, I want that kind of wedding where I want the princess wedding. Please, if you cannot afford, because wedding planners actually do a lot of work for what they ask for. They do a lot of work. Wedding planning is not easy. I know this because I planned my wedding, just me, my mom-in-law, and my mom. That was it. It was just us. And working with mothers is not like working with a youth. Most of them running around. My moms can't do it, so I had to do it. So don't go for wedding planning or all this big thing you cannot afford. Don't go for a service you cannot afford. Look for 2 or 3 persons, that you really trust, that you can work with, friends or your sister or people that actually are showing concern and that are really concerned. Tell them that, please, I can't do this without you. Last thing you want, I'll keep saying it, last thing you want is to be in your marital home during the first 4 months and you can't feed. All your salary, they go now into debts that you did because you wanted to do Carmelite weddings, Bella Naija level. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. You need peace of mind. You deserve fresh air. You deserve to start getting fresh after wedding, not getting cranky. Okay. Next point. Do not forget your honeymoon and the life after the wedding. I was just saying something like that before. Don't forget it. To me, invest more if you can on your honeymoon and life after. You need a house. Yeah. Except for couples who get married when they were already living together, who officially do a wedding, when they were already living together. Yes, you need to actually focus on the life after the wedding, because you need a house, you need rent for at least 4 months straight after wedding. Not that you come out and you start struggling that, hey, we need to buy TV, our house is empty, we still give ourselves like 4 months after. No. Actually, I and my husband secured our house before the wedding. Yeah. we pay for our house before the wedding, and we paid like, I think about 8 months, because last thing you wanted was maybe struggling to pay rent. If you have kids already, focus on how your kids will feed and go to school after the wedding. And for you to spend everything on the wedding, focus on, okay, after this, what we go to, you know. So if you know you have enough money, you know, put some aside for your honeymoon. You deserve that. You and your husband deserve that, to go away from all this noise, go away from all this drama from the wedding, because wedding planning is a lot of drama. Sometimes you and your husband even get to, you know, exchange and misunderstand each other and stuff. You actually deserve some time to get that away. So yes, you could allocate some money for your honeymoon, and you know, life after the wedding, what happens. Okay, next point, do not pay for the first option you find. Yes, do not pay for the first option you find, meaning you should always try to have many other options to choose from. Yes, most of the times, sometimes, rarely though, very rarely, like 10% of the time, the first option you find is the best option. That's why even if it's not wedding inclined, when you have the choice, look for other choices. Yeah, when you have the opportunity, rather, look for other choices, you know, because one time when I was planning for the wedding, actually, when my husband and I were looking at invitations, since he was in Dubai at the time, he said he can see, because you know, a lot of business people who do with this printing and stuff get some of the materials from Dubai. So we're like, let's look at these options. We saw them, they were so beautiful, and to us at the time we thought it was cheap, like, oh, we're going to do it in bulk, so it's going to, you know, come to 1,500 per card, you know, and we're already settling on that. But then when my mom-in-law came into the picture, she was like, no, I have this guy, he can do it for us for, I think it was we finally settled for him because it was a lot cheaper. Imagine we had settled and already probably paid. That's costs. We don't want to be spending anyhow for a wedding. That's it. Not like we need the cheapest option, but quality for less, you know. Quality for less. That's why it's preferable. If you have an option someone is giving you, you say, beautiful, okay, that's nice, I'll get back to you. There's nothing wrong with telling somebody I'll get back to you and looking for a better option. Nothing wrong at all. Okay, sometimes you realize that you even go and spend a lot more because you're trying to do it faster or pay faster. The first option is never really always advisable to be the option you choose. Go for others. Yeah, next point, don't wait to the last minute to buy stuff or pay for stuff. Yes, that's what I said in the beginning. You need to give yourself like at least 4 months to start budgeting for your wedding. Some people even start budgeting for your wedding like a year before, but yeah, 4 months is the limit. This way you can start, you know, planning early enough. Start, you know, sometimes you find sales for stuff that you need, you know, especially for the ladies, for your veil, for your hair clipper, for your shoes, for your jewelry, for your perfume, you know. For sometimes it's preferable to start buying it. I remember buying my wedding shoe 4 months before. It's not going to go anywhere. Yeah, if you have the opportunity to get it and keep. If you don't start now, in the future you're going to, the program is going to be too tight. You'll not be able to meet up. So if you have to go to the printing press for your invitations, visit many more now. Don't wait till the last minute and people are waiting for invitations the month before your wedding and you're trying to run up and down to do anything you can at the moment. And it's that thing of doing anything you can at the moment that really makes your wedding, makes you to mess up, because you go for anything you can find. Nah, anything you can find usually turns out to be nonsense. And you don't want nonsense for your wedding, do you? Neither do I. Neither did I. So yeah, if you can, a lot earlier, you may find stuff cheaper a lot earlier. You may find more interesting stuff a lot earlier. So, you know, walk a lot, stroll a lot. You and your partner should be on the guard, you know. Yeah. Next point, do not be closed-minded. Yes, do not be closed-minded. This is one of the most important spirit of Jennifer out. Important. This is one of the most important. Do not be closed-minded. Do not feel like, okay, because my elder sister got married, she did this after this after this, got her dresses from here, did this one here, it was this lady that baked her cake, I'm not going to do otherwise because I've seen other people do it in this hall, I must pay for this hall. Do not be closed-minded. You can, think out of the box. Give yourself the chance to be creative on certain stuff though. Don't just get up and say you want to be creative on. Yes, don't be closed-minded. When it comes to dressing and wedding gowns, if you don't find a place where you can rent a dress like every other person is renting a church, you can go to a tailor, someone you see who is very talented, and tell her. Many of people will tell you that you sew your wedding gown. Why would you want to sew your wedding gown? Trust me, sometimes it comes out bomb as fuck. Sorry, language. But yeah, give yourself the chance to, try new things. Sometimes it turns out very well. In fact, because you want it to turn out well, it's going to turn out well. Don't be closed-minded. Oh, souvenirs, think out of the box. For my wedding, I do perfumes. It's my business, and I decided that no, I'm going to give out perfumes. It's different. Yeah, I've actually never been to a wedding where people were giving perfumes or so I gave myself the chance to do something different, think out of the box, do something that people are going to be like, oh, and it turns out nice. People call me back, and even increased my sales for perfume for a bit. People came back to buy perfume because they were beautiful and everything. So yeah, you and your spouse should give you a chance to give yourself a chance to be open-minded. Think about better ways to do the same things that people are doing. Try to ameliorate, try to make it more beautiful, more spicy, Yeah. Okay, now point number 10, which is the last point, but not the least. Don't bank on people. Yeah, I spoke about not trusting and trusting important activities on people. But now I'm talking about don't bank on people. All this, my uncle is a minister, and all this my pastor said this church is going to support. All this my brother-in-law is the barrister the biggest law firm, and he's a big hand. No, don't do that. Especially when you're doing your budgeting. Budget on money that you and your mans have. Don't do all the even your parents, don't count on your father's money. Like, no put eye for day, like you're really counting on that 2 million that he promised you. When you're looking at your budget, you have to look at what do we have, baby. So this income is supposed to come from here, which is something you trust. Your income, not somebody else's income. Yeah, we are supposed to expect this 1 million from this business I'm doing right now. You add it to all of it to the budget. All of it should be your own, so that anybody would finally gives as they promised. Fine, it's a plus. That one now you can use it to do the I want to. Yeah. Yeah, because the language for planning your wedding is really we need to, not that we want to. Especially when you're trying to look at costs. You can do the you want to. I did some I want to. My husband let me do some I want to because we could, but if you're in a place where finance is tight and you're trying to do the best with what you have, you really need to limit the I want to. So yeah, if your uncle or your daddy or your mommy or your brother or your people come through with the money they promised, fine, it's even better. But don't bank on them. Don't say no, we don't have money for this, but this my brother owes me. Even if he owes you, don't trust it. So guys, this is not going to be the only wedding planning video I'm going to do. We're going to talk a lot. Subsequently, we're gonna discuss more on wedding planning, but I just felt like sharing this do not with you, and I really hope it helps you. Drop your comments and questions on wedding planning. I've dropped my social. I'll always drop my socials too, so you can DM me directly to ask for some particular tips or stuff you don't understand. So guys, thank you once more for watching. Hope you subscribe. You know, a lot more beautiful content and tips are going to come from me, and thank you so much for the love so far. My God, I feel so privileged. You know, you guys are amazing. Thank you for welcoming me with such warm arms to this YouTube thingy, and I'm enjoying it already. I feel like I was supposed to have been doing this thing since. Okay guys, we'll do skincare sometime so that all of us can be glowing like this, you know. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Booyah.